How much of an airhead are you there? After all this work trying to get you to notice that your husband has been cheating on you, yet you still are not noticing a bit of it. Are you a failure of a woman or something?
Who is it that I'm speaking to right now? I believe that you have the wrong person right now.
I do have the right person, though. I have been going out with your husband for the past year now. And today, I wanted to talk with you, his wife, about it, and tell you what's been going on.
You're telling me that for a year now you've been with my husband?
If that's your response, then you really had no clue about it, did you? Hadn't you noticed a year ago that your husband was having to work a lot more? And more recently, he's been having to take a lot of business trips and such, right? Well, all of that was a lie. He was lying to you about that, calling it all work when he was really coming over to my house.
Excuse me?
This is it. This right here. This is the kind of reaction that I was wanting to get out of you.
Can you tell me what the hell your plan is here, though? For a woman who says she's been with my husband this whole time, to come out and say all of that with such confidence.
Well, this is the most entertaining way for me to get the news across to you. And seeing how long it would take for you to figure things out, or rather not figure things out, at all about us was also a thrill. Yet for some reason, you really didn't notice a single thing about what your husband and I had been doing, which got really boring really quickly. Having to love a man when the thrills started to really die out wasn't fun for me at all, you know? And that's why this time I decided it was time to tell you.
Huh?
I had been purposefully dropping an earring or two in his car, as well as things like some cosmetics of mine. And I made sure that he didn't do anything to try and hide all those things from you, yet you still weren't catching on. I wanted to date your husband having the knowledge that his wife knew about it the whole time.
I see. You have the type of character that I don't seem to understand one bit.
So, how are you feeling now after that news flash, huh? You must be pretty sad to hear that the husband you love so much was cheating on you, right? Or are you heartbroken right now being a woman whose husband wanted to cheat on her? Could you be as pale as a ghost right now because of the panic I've induced?
About how I'm feeling. All I can say is I'm tired of having to listen to someone like you right now.
Huh?
I feel sorry for the man who thought it was a good idea to date such a childish woman as yourself. If he was going to cheat, at least do it with a smarter and more mature woman than you. If you really enjoy things that give you a thrill, maybe do something more invigorating like a bungee jump or skydiving. I think those things will bring you a lot more excitement without having to pay as much for them.
Huh?
And by the way, having to lay your hands on another woman's man to feel a thrill is a bit sad. Aren't you a bit exhausted after all that time you spent having to be with another woman's man? It's like you have some kind of sickness if that's the kind of route you were willing to take for joy. I'd hurry up and see a doctor about that mental problem you have. Actually, one of my close friends happens to be a therapist. If you'd like me to, I can introduce you to her and see what she can do to help.
Well, what the hell is all this? What's wrong with you? You were just told about how your husband has been cheating on you with me this whole time. There's no way you should be trying to console me over all of this now. How can you be so calm at a time like this anyway? And what makes you think you can make fun of my mental health like that?
I was never making fun of your mental health. I just happen to be a bit worried about the kind of person you are. I really do believe that you should be taking that issue you have seriously and see someone about it immediately.
I am not going to be treated like some sick person. What the actual hell is this? This isn't the kind of reaction I thought I'd be getting from you at all. I wanted to see you crying over this or getting all worked up over what I had to tell you. But now I'm the one feeling all worked up and disgusted by the kind of person you are.
Oh, is that so? Well, I'm sorry about that. But I'm not really into hobbies like cheating on other people and making others upset. You came out trying to have another thrilling time, but ended up feeling sick now.
Shut the hell up, you loser. I'm sure you're just trying to act tough right now is all, which is pretty sad of you considering you just heard that your husband was cheating on you for a year now. I am not going to let you have a fun time with me now that you're supposed to be the loser here. I'm going to make you pay for this one now, you asshole.
Long time since we last talked, Brooklyn. I have something I've been wanting to ask you, actually. Do you have a moment to talk with me right now?
Oh, hey, Clifford. Been a while, hasn't it? I think the last time we actually were talking to one another was last year, right?
It's been a long time, it seems, right? But I guess that was just a little over a year ago now, back when we had the memorial for my brother. I can't believe it's been 3 years since he passed away now.
Right. Time has really flown by on us, hasn't it? So anyway, what was it you wanted to talk about?
Actually, I was wondering if there's any money left over from my brother still. I think there is, and I wanted to know if you'd be all right with giving us half of that money.
What?
It's been 3 years now since he passed away, right? But you have still not gone out and found a job for yourself. That has to mean he left behind enough money to support you for 3 years, and that there must be a bunch more remaining, right? Considering he was my older brother, I'm sure he put in a lot of money making sure he had the best life insurance on himself, right?
Why exactly do you want half of the money he left behind for me? Are you in a bit of financial trouble or something?
That's right. Right now I'm in a very serious pickle when it comes to money. There are 3 kids now in my family, right? As they continue to grow older and older, they require for me to have more money. And that's led to our family finances being pretty rough. Considering the current recession we're going through, both my wife's and my income has gone down as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is why I kinda wanted to ask if you could help us out a little. Before my brother went and passed away in that car accident, he was always spoiling my kids. If you were to give us some of that money for his cute little nieces and nephews, I'm sure he'd be okay with it. If anything, he probably wants you using some of that money on them.
I'm sure. I mean, him and I never got around to having any kids of our own either. Because of that, he was always spoiling your 3 kids.
So, from now on, how about you send us $3,000 a month? I would hate to have you give us half of whatever you have left from him in one go, so if you could start sending us little by little every month, that would be great.
Hold on a second. You need $3,000 a month from me?
I'm sure you don't know about this, but kids take up a lot of the family finances. You're not struggling at all right now and have all that money from my brother, so why not, right?
I understand that I have some money left from him, but it's not as much as you think. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm going to be able to help you out much.
What did you say?
The money he left me after that accident was something very important to me, and so I've planned to use it sparingly over the next decade or so. Another thing about me is I'm actually working from home right now, so I was never living without a job playing with his money all the time like you might have thought.
Are you kidding me? I was sure you still had around $500,000 or so from him. But you know what? If you're working right now, then you don't need his money at all, right? You should actually be giving me all of it, please.
What?
You should be more than capable of handling yourself with your own income, right? That means you have no reason to hang on to all of his money anymore. Don't you think you should be giving it to those in need?
Not at all. Why would you ever say something like that about what he's left me?
Am I really being that mean? Actually, I'm saying this partially for your sake as well.
What does that mean?
Well, as long as you hang on to his money, you're never gonna forget about him, right? You're still young, Brooklyn, so you need to move on and find yourself a new man. So in order to get you to do that, we can take that money from my brother off of you and use it up.
Stop saying things like that. I don't plan to ever get remarried, Clifford. I want to hang on to his memory he left for me and think about him for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, but you need to stop asking for it now.
What?
If you really need some help with your financial situation, I have a good friend that could give you some assistance there. Would you like me to get you guys in touch so that you can talk about how to fix the slump you're in?
I don't need to go through something as irritating as that. What the hell? I came here asking all politely and everything. You can't just keep all of his money to yourself like that.
How's it going? I'm sure that picture I sent to you just there has shocked your socks off, right?
I can't believe you'd send someone a picture of you on top of someone's husband having sex like this. This is the kind of picture that someone could use to get a very heavy settlement from you, all right? I can't believe you'd really do that to yourself.
If I knew it would be enough to allow you to get a settlement from me, I wouldn't have taken your husband in the first place. I just want to see what your face looks like as you're freaking out is all.
There's no reason for you to be wanting to see something like that from me, though.
You're really annoying when you try and act all level-headed like that, you know. That's why I said before that I was going to make you suffer one way or another. I bet that this time I've gotten on your nerve for sure, right? Seeing that husband that you've loved for so long letting me take him for a spin. I bet you're never going to be able to see him the same way again, right?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Huh?
Actually, I've been taking a really good look at this picture of you two. I never thought I'd see a man look so displeased with having a woman doing cowgirl on him. And for some reason, you're also looking like you're not enjoying it.
Huh? Stop trying to act like a tough guy here. Just suck it up and tell me right now how much it hurts to see your husband doing another woman. Start crying your eyes out right now and tell me how much it kills to see a picture of us two together.
I'm not acting like a tough guy, though. If anything, I'm feeling even more fed up with you as a person. It really makes me worry for mankind when there are people like you who don't care about the risk anymore and only want to see others hurt.
Excuse me?
Are you aware that if I held that picture as evidence and where to get a settlement from you, it could be for as much as $100,000? Did you really prepare for something like a settlement, all just to watch me cry a little? Actually, are seeing my tears and hearing me cry worth $100,000 to you? If that's how much my tears go for, I'm happy to hear that. I will try my best to start shedding some tears here, so let's start with $5,000 a tear, all right?
How dare you try and use this as a way to make money? Do you really call yourself his wife by doing that? What makes you think you can just sit there and take all of this when the woman your husband has been cheating on you with is actively making fun of you? I want you to start crying and begging me to stop right now.
You see, the thing is, my husband has been dead for 3 years now.
What?
So you can ask me to cry all you want, but I'm not going to be crying because I'm hurt. I'll be crying to make some of that sweat money you're going to give. And by the way, the man in that picture isn't my husband, so I'm really not sure what I should be getting upset about here.
Oh, what? Are you not Clifford's wife? But when he looked at his phone, he had you there, and behind your name in parentheses was the word wife.
So that's how Clifford has my name put down in his phone. Well, I happen to be his sister-in-law. In other words, I'm his older brother's wife.
What?
So, just to be sure, I'll say this one more time. I'm not his wife. You have had the wrong person this whole time, like I'd said at the start.
What?
But now, you have me thinking about how he's been cheating on his wife this whole time. I never thought the day would come where I'm seeing my brother-in-law completely naked having sex with a stranger. Now it's going to be a lot harder for me to look at him as family. I don't think the image of his small penis is ever going to be leaving my head.
You're joking. Why did I make this mistake? I assumed that you were his wife this whole time.
Hey, don't worry, all right? I promise to go ahead and tell his wife next for you.
What?
I wouldn't want you to have to go through that whole performance you've done with me again. So I'll let her know that you've been with her husband and show her this very interesting picture as well. I'll make sure to tell her who you are as well. And I'll introduce her to a really good lawyer that I know as well for you.
Huh? Wait a second, please. Why would you be showing her to a lawyer, you know? Don't do anything unnecessary right now.
Did you know that Clifford's wife is a really close friend of mine? When my husband passed away, she was the one who stood closest to me, making sure everything was fine in my life. And that is why I'm not going to let you off the hook here. If you're going to go through all of that in order to make Clifford's wife feel bad, then at least be prepared for all the outcomes as well.
No way.
And now that you've got me involved in all of this due to your own mistakes, you're going to have to pay for that. Anywho, thank you for all this wonderful evidence.
Why did you tell my wife about me cheating on her? You could have just let that all go. How dare you do something so needless to me?
You were the one doing something so needless though, right? And you have a wonderful wife with you who went and gave you 3 beautiful children. Yet you still went and cheated on her and your family.
Shut the hell up already. I was just cheating on her to have some fun. I never did it in order to ruin the family I had back at home.
But then, why was your girlfriend trying so very hard to destroy the family you say you love for you? I get that she mistook me for your wife, but she came at me wanting to create chaos.
I didn't think she was going to be such a pain in the ass for me down the road. God damn it. Why did things have to come to this? My wife is wanting to divorce me now, and she's going to take all 3 of my kids away.
That's what happens when you play stupid games. And it was you making her have to take care of all 3 of them by herself anyway, since you wanted to spend more time with your girlfriend.
Please help me out here. If you let your brother-in-law and his wife get a divorce, I'm sure that my brother up in heaven would be devastated, right? Can you please go and set my wife straight for me?
I'm sorry, but I already told her to get the divorce as quickly as possible.
Are you freaking kidding me? It's all because you went and opened your mouth to my wife that this is happening. Your 3 nephews that your husband spoiled are all going to lose their father now. Do you think it's okay to let that happen? If you're really my brother's wife, then you help me. You freaking help me. You help your husband's cherished little brother get out of this mess.
No. My husband cherished you so much, and that is why I won't allow his name to be associated with what you've become any longer. I'm sure if he was still around now, he would be in tears, learning about how his little brother became this thoughtless, cheating heathen. So I'm going to do what he would do, and make sure you take absolute responsibility for what you've done. I don't want you to become someone who will put shame on my husband's name.
No way!
Make sure you pay that settlement and child support to your wife, all right? That's all you're able to do now.
Shut your goddamn mouth, bitch! I'm being asked to pay a settlement of close to $50,000 right now, and then I'll have to pay child support for 3 kids? That's around $1,000 each every month! If this has to happen to me, then you're gonna pay for it all with the money my brother left behind!
You sure?
This all happened because you opened your damn mouth, right? That means this is all your fault!
Not true at all. The one who's to blame for that is your retarded girlfriend who couldn't keep her mouth shut about your relationship. And if you want to know who was to blame for all of this in the first place, that would be you. The one who went and cheated on his wife and 3 kids. So screw off with that attitude towards me right now. I'm done here. If you even dare come back to me with more of your crap, I'm going to make you pay me a settlement as well.
This couldn't get any worse for me. Clifford doesn't even have a penny to his name right now. I was fooled by that asshole. I thought that Clifford would be a lot better than this. He was always taking me to those really expensive restaurants and dates and everything. And whenever it was a special event, he'd gift me with such fancy presents. He told me himself that he had enough money to take care of me with. But now he's telling me he has nothing in his savings and that I need to pay for a settlement to his wife as well. He's trying to make me pay for everything.
Really? He's not even able to pay that settlement?
He told me that all of his money is having to go to his wife in the divorce, thanks to his 3 kids he never told me about either, which means he doesn't have any money to pay the settlement now. Which doesn't even make sense when I told him I had all this debt, which he said he'd be able to pay off for me.
You're in debt? Then that would mean he wanted that money I received from his brother to help you pay that all off.
Wait, what?
A little while back, he came to me begging me for the money my deceased husband left me with. He told me that his finances back home were not great and asked me to support him. But then I went and spoke with his wife about it. She said they were totally fine financially and that he was just trying to scam me. They are both working anyway, and his wife is pulling in over $100,000 a year.
What? His wife is making that kind of money each year.
Which is why she said they didn't need the help. I'm sure now that Clifford just wanted it to help with your debt and pay for more dates. And based on the current recession, his income has taken a bit of a hit, but not his wife's income.
No freaking way. His income is in trouble now too?
Yeah, that's what his wife told me. She gave him some advice to change jobs and such, but he just kept fighting her over it, thinking that she had no place to talk down to him about his job. Even though she wasn't. Which is really sad to think about now because during that time, he probably was always yelling back at her because he was cheating.
No way! I really thought that he was working for this super large company making a lot of money there. He always told me he was making a lot every month and that he had hundreds of thousands in his savings. That's why I was serious about stealing him from his wife and didn't mind things like a settlement and such.
Well, to him, he was just into you for the fun of it.
No, I can't believe the man that told me he had so much money and loved me was lying. And to think he wanted to use his dead brother's money to cheat. He really is a pile of crap. Even someone like myself is shocked to hear that now.
But hey, can you make sure not to throw him away now? To me, I think you both are meant for one another, belonging to the same dump and all. You would make for a great couple.
Huh?
So now that you've had this little chat, good luck with your boyfriend. Please make sure to support one another and to both take responsibility for all the trouble you've both caused. Now that will be all from me. Goodbye. In the end, both Clifford and Angela were asked to pay off their settlements in one lump payment, which they did. Thanks to the help of Angela's parents who lended her the money, they no longer had to worry about the settlements themselves, but her parents told Clifford that in return he was to marry their daughter, and both of their horrible selves would have to work together to pay them back. And just like that, they were both forced to get married to one another by her parents the very next day. And as of right now, they are both working on paying all of that money they borrowed back to Angela's parents, while giving the rest to Clifford's ex-wife for their children. As for his ex-wife, she happened to always be really close with his parents, and so after the divorce, she would move in with them, bringing along her 3 kids. Both of the in-laws have been doing what they can to help out with her and their 3 grandkids, while also letting her continue to work. And as for myself, living close to them, I'm always able to head to their house anytime to meet with those 3 nephews of mine, who really do remind me of my husband. As a widowed woman, I really am thankful for all the support my late husband's parents and my sister-in-law have given me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey there, Pam. I just heard the news from Tony. Are you really going to completely renovate the second story at your family home? Tony heard about it from your mom, and he was telling me about how amazing the whole space was going to look after everything was finished. Yeah, we decided to knock down some of the walls and create a much more open feeling for the area. It should be nice. Then we were going to make some changes to the bathroom and even try and build a mini kitchen up there to make living up there easier. Wow, so you're basically going to have 2 homes inside one building pretty much. Well, we're doing a lot of thinking about how we could make improvements to the house since my parents and I live here with his parents. But yeah, we decided basically to try and create 2 units inside of the one house. That's amazing. I bet that it's going to turn out just super. And I just know that the second floor is going to get some amazing natural light, especially if you're going for an open floor plan. And with some plumbing going on up there as well, it's just going to be the perfect living space. Wow, I would say that you're much more excited about the renovations than some of us here at home are. But it is really fun, I will say. We're going to go to the hardware store and think about paints for the walls. Oh, I bet it's fun. I used to love making my own house on computer games when I was younger. It's so nice just getting to make a space all your own. And just make sure you don't get too carried away and go for some crazy design you'll regret later. I mean, especially since you're just the daughter-in-law living there, you wouldn't want to ruin the house for your in-laws, right? So just make sure you're not running off with your own design ideas and not listening to anyone else's opinion on the matter. Sorry, I don't think I'm quite following you there. What do you mean by that? Well, you're going to be destroying my room in that house, right? You do realize that I grew up in the house, too. I'm sure that my parents have a lot of important memories in the second floor, and I just hope you're being sensitive to their wishes with this. Ah, okay, I think I understand. Well, if you're wondering if I've asked them if it's okay to go ahead with this, they've said yes. I see. But I bet that you're going to put all this money into renovating the second floor and then just keep it all to yourself, aren't you? I hope that you're at least spreading some of the love to my parents, too. I'm sorry, but I still really am not sure what you're talking about with that. Okay, well, you said that you were going to have running water and plumbing installed on the second floor, right? Well, I just hope that that isn't going to affect the first floor in any way. I'm really not sure at all what you're asking. We're working with a team of professionals who aren't going to let one half of the house go without water. Besides, the pipes on the first floor were all replaced about 5 years ago, so there shouldn't be any issues. It was when your mom was making some changes to the kitchen at the house back then. And you really think that the pipes haven't gone at all bad in the last 5 years? That means they've been there since before the last Olympic Games. Is that a metric that plumbers use when considering the age of pipes? I'm just saying that I hope you remember to renovate the whole house and not just the second floor. I'm sick of coming over and looking at all the old appliances on the first floor, so make sure you're changing everything. I really don't think that there's any real practical need to do any of that at all, really. Oh, and if you're going to renovate the first floor kitchen, then you might as well buy all new table and chairs as well. Just make sure that whatever you do for one area, you do for the other. And you have to remember that my parents are getting old, so make sure you do something to open up the first floor plan as well, got it? Okay, no, hold on just a second. None of that is going to be happening at all. We have a budget and a plan for what we're going to make changes to. If we add on the whole first floor, then that's basically building a new house from scratch. I appreciate your suggestions, but the renovations are going to be between my husband and I and your parents, okay? Are you really sure about that? You know that I'm only mentioning all of this because I want you to care about my parents, right? Are you really saying you don't care about them enough to do this? It has nothing to do at all with any of that. Why would you even say that? Well, it's just that my parents are going to be retiring soon, so they're only going to have their pensions to live off of. I figured the least you could do as their daughter-in-law is help fix up their house. I mean, after all, they're being kind enough to let you and my brother live there with them, right? Bianca, I know what you're trying to do, but I've already told you that we've established a plan and a budget, and we're sticking to both. Well, it sounds to me like you're going to need a new budget and a new plan, so hop to it. If you fix up the whole house, it'd be cheaper than doing things one at a time as you need them. And I don't want to hear any excuses about money. It's not like either of you even pay rent there. I know you're both loaded. Hey, Adam, are you there? I think we might need to pause all the construction and go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board? Pam, why in the world would you want to do that? We just picked out the colors that we're gonna paint the walls.
I know, but I was just talking to your sister, Bianca. I told her about how we were fixing up the second floor of the house, and she told me that we needed to think more about your parents.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Well, she basically said that anything we were doing for the second floor, we should also do for the first floor as a gift to your mom and dad.
But if we were to redo the entire first and second floor, then we might as well just be building a whole new house. Besides, we already figured out the budget for this and everything.
That's what I tried to tell her, but she insisted that we were doing it all wrong. She said that our budget was too small and didn't take into consideration your parents.
I don't know what she means by that, because our parents already agreed to let us do what we're doing. But I think I might know what's going on here. I think that my parents are trying to use Bianca to get to us.
Get to us? What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
I never actually mentioned any of this to you because I didn't think it'd really come up, but my dad has really started complaining about the house a lot. He's gone off on me about how cold he thinks the toilet is, how bad the insulation is in the house, and has a comment for every little thing around here.
Oh, really? I had no idea about any of that at all.
Well, it's true, and I do my best to try and listen to what he has to say, but I think he thought it might be more effective to get Bianca on his side.
And that's why you think she was telling us to totally renovate the first floor as well? But does this mean that we'll have to renegotiate this whole thing with your parents then? Besides, it's not like your dad doesn't have money. If he wants to change things, he has the means to do it.
I know they have money, but they certainly don't even have enough for the kind of changes that my dad would like to see around here. Well, I'm sure he would love it if we paid for someone to fix up the first floor.
But then what are we going to do about all of this?
Well, I don't know what we can do. My parents are already swimming in debt. They have some from when they got the pipes replaced and when my dad bought his last car, too.
I didn't realize that they still hadn't paid those off yet, though.
Yeah, they may have had some savings once, but not anymore. I think this is partially why my dad hasn't come to us directly about this, though. I think he was probably hoping that we'd come to him offering to do all the renovations that he'd want to see.
But what are we going to do? We've already laid so much groundwork for this.
Well, I don't really know what we can do now. If this is really happening, then we really may as well just go and construct a whole new house.
Adam, you can't really be serious about that, can you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I also know that Bianca has interests in this as well. She's always complaining about coming back and visiting the house since it's out in the country. And since she knows the house is going to go to one of us, she'd probably love it if you and I paid to make it all brand new in the chance that she gets it.
Well, I guess that all makes some sense. But even so, we just don't have the budget to make those sorts of changes.
Yeah, we do. I'll pay it all. I agreed to take responsibility for the project when we started, and I'm not going to go back on my word now.
Adam, you're really going to pay to have the entire house renovated?
That's right. I don't want you to get any more wrapped up in this nonsense than you already are, so just please let me handle this. Of course, if it's okay with you, I'd still like to be able to ask your opinion on interior design questions. You know that I don't know what I'm doing on that front. Just try and think of a first floor that Bianca would also enjoy.
Got it. Well, I promise you to do what I can. I'll try and make the best house that we can.
Thank you so much, Pam. I knew that I could count on you. I'll call the construction crew soon and talk to him about this.
Oh my gosh, this place looks amazing. This feels like a brand new house. You really went all out with this. I mean, this place looks better than I ever could have imagined it looking. Wait, Bianca, are you in the house right now? Yes. I thought I would pay a little visit to see how things are going. I heard the news from my mom and that the construction is finally complete. Well, yes, the workers did say that they were all done yesterday. Well, it seems to me like you really put some serious work into putting this all together, didn't you? I mean, the design is just so, well, like I said, it's amazing. You really do have a keen eye for this kind of stuff, I'll say that much. Oh, well, I'm very happy that you're so pleased with it. I really did try hard to come up with a nice design. Well, I think you did amazing. I mean, just being here makes me want to move in. Or rather, seeing this is part of why we're moving in. From here on out, we're going to be living here. Wait, what do you mean by that? I don't quite understand. Well, we already brought all our bags here, so my husband and I were going to move into the second floor. But hold on a second. The second floor was renovated so that Adam and I could live up there. There isn't really a spare room in the house where you and your husband could even stay here. And since when were you two thinking of moving in with all of us over here? And just what is so wrong about the daughter of a family coming back to her home to live with her parents, huh? It was fun living away in the city, but it's tough out there. Well, I get wanting a new start, but you can't just announce this all of a sudden. I mean, your parents and I had a lot of agreements that went into these designs. And one of the conditions that we all agreed to when doing this was that you wouldn't be coming back to live here. And just why am I not supposed to be allowed to come back and live with my family? My parents own the house, so if I want to come and live with them again, then I think I have more of a right to make that choice than you. You should be glad to be living with someone like me. Are you serious right now? Do you really think that you can just barge in here and announce that this place is yours? It's always been mine. Besides, we've already brought all our bags and belongings, so it's a bit late to do anything about this now. I don't even know what to say to that. Why would you pack all your things up and bring them here? I told you, it's because I wanted to come back and live with my parents again. I know that they must be getting sick of living with you and Adam. And now that I'm wanting to move back, there's really no need for either of you to even be here in the first place. I'm sure they'll be overjoyed to have me back. Bianca, I really don't know how else to say this to you, but that is not how things are going to work. Adam told me when we got married that we would be living with my parents, but that he would make sure that I never had to suffer because of it. So I really don't think that he's going to agree to just pack up our things and leave after fixing up the home like this. And just who do you think you are to talk to me about my brother? I know him much better than you, and I know how to make him go along with what I want. Besides, don't you know that I'm the elder sibling? He has to obey me because what I say goes. I don't even get why you'd want to move here with your parents. Can you go and live with your husband's parents instead? You can't just show up here and declare that you're kicking Adam and I out of our living space. Well, it kind of sounds to me like I just did, didn't I? And you have no right at all to be disagreeing with me. I've had to put up with Adam since he was little, and now I'm finally going to be taking what is rightfully mine. I'm trying to tell you that it's not going to work that way. You can't just show up and announce that you're living here. Besides, you never ever wanted to come here and live before Adam and I put all the money into the house, so what changed? Can you please just shut up and move out already? How many questions are you going to ask me? Why can't you understand that you've lost and now you've got to leave? You know what? Fine. If this is how you want it, then so be it. Finally! I thought I would never get rid of you. I was worried I'd have to get my mom involved, but I'm happy now that you're just giving it all up. I'm sure my parents and my husband and I will all enjoy living for free in the house that you spent the last several months renovating. Oh, don't you worry about us. After all, it's your parents who are paying for everything. Anyways, I've got to go. Wait, what do you mean that it's my parents who are going to be paying for all of this? I'm sorry, but I've got to get a hold of your brother and the real estate agent. I'll also have to extend the lease on the place we were staying in during the construction. No, wait, I'm trying to ask you a question here. What do you mean about my parents having to pay? I thought that you two paid for everything. Well, yes, we were going to pay for everything that we'd done. Then Adam agreed that he'd pay for it all instead. The loan for the construction and everything was, however, taken out in your dad's name. Why in the world would my dad agree to do something like that? Well, at first we were just going to pay for the whole project in one lump payment. But when it expanded to the first floor, we knew we'd need to take out a loan. So your parents and Adam and I went to the bank, and the bank suggested bundling the loan into the rest of your dad's debt. What do you mean, my dad's debt? I didn't know that my dad had any debt. Well, yes, he does. He has it from when he did his own renovations 5 years ago and when he bought his new car. But he still has debt from doing all of that? That's right. But the banker said that it would be more economic to bundle the home loan in with the rest of his debts in a kind of refinancing plan. And so your dad agreed to it, thinking that it would be Adam who gave him the money to pay back the debt. But I don't understand. Why would he do something like this? Well, that's the thing. Your dad still wasn't keeping up with his own debts, so in the end, Adam agreed to take on all the debt as it became too much for your father. I tried explaining some of the risks that this could come with to your dad, but he wasn't really listening at all. But then, if you two are in charge of the payments and you two just stop paying, then what's going to happen to all that stuff like the car and the house? I imagine you all are about to find out soon enough, actually. After that, I heard from my husband that Bianca reached out to him and was furious about what was happening. I told him I expected that much to happen after all this. Apparently, the bank had sent a notice to the house explaining that if the payments were not continued, they would be seizing the house and the car. Adam's parents only slowly realizing the consequences of their earlier actions. Adam was already upset at them for acting as if they had no idea about any of this. Bianca, however, was even more upset and raged on about how it was unfair that Adam and I were the only ones left unscathed from all of this. Adam agreed to re-sign over the rights to the house and car so that Bianca and his parents could continue their repayments on the loans, but it was only in exchange for the money that Adam and I had already invested in both of those. With little other choice but to agree, Adam's parents, along with Bianca and her husband, are all living together and working hard to come up with the money to pay off these loans. Adam's lawyer said that it wasn't impossible, but that it would take about 30 years for the four of them to do it all. By then, Adam's parents would be in their 90s. Adam and I were sad about how things had to turn out with his parents and sister. But we blocked them on any kind of social media and used the money we got from them to move to a different city where we wouldn't have to deal with them. We found a decent plot of land with a nice starter home on it and began yet another round of renovations. This time, however, we were only following our own blueprints and nobody else's. It may have taken a long time, but I'm excited to finally have my dream house with the man I love. We've more or less lost all contact with the rest of Adam's direct family, but we'll still hear rumors about them coming from distant relatives and the like. Apparently, the four of them decided to sell Adam's dad's new car for a much older model that they could actually afford. They were doing all they could to cut back on costs and escape their debt. I only hope that this experience can at least teach Bianca and her husband a lesson about having respect for others' hard work and not acting so entitled without the authority to back it up. In the meantime, however, Adam and I will still be working on making our dream house a reality as we work hard to follow our plans and stay within budget.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.